about nothing and everything.
Every episode starts.
I know. It's because he does something. He watches the timer. He says something, and we don't know what to say.
It's usually not me. It hasn't been me.
Somebody should have just said.
I was waiting till 1. I'm not going to lie. I was
trying to cut it closer than I did last time.
Yeah, a little bit.
Cut it closer, no pun intended.
Oh
boy.
Mm-hmm.
I should just hit record sometime and just like see if you guys don't notice somehow. You don't notice the giant numbers on the screen.
Yeah, that would be funny. Just keep talking. Like, are we started? About 15 minutes ago.
We're about an hour, and see you next time. I can edit. We can use about 5 minutes of it.
It's just too funny.
Yeah.
Well, how you doing, boys?
Really?
Tyson's last day of school was today.
It was.
And a boy survived another year. He didn't decapitate a student. Proud of you.
And you guys know me and my ethic. So when we got a nice email from the superintendent and Mr. Dean Much, Jeremy knows him too, and sent a nice email and said, you know what, if all your work's done, you're free to go home at noon. You don't got to stay all day. And I went, great. So I got home 5:15.
Which was
saw Cameron around 4:30, I think, for a second, because I had to go to Newcastle. I hadn't been home yet.
Yeah, saw me for a few minutes.
Oh,
so
gosh.
you never. I don't know. Maybe you did this on purpose. I don't know. But did you see the thing I was asking you about? The schedules for next year. So it must, if you're laughing, it must not be an Anglophone East thing.
It is province-wide.
Okay, that's what I thought.
None of the schools in Fredericton, luckily.
What? Okay, he's got.
North of Fry, where my young fella goes, is it's one of the test.
Good for them.
Test schools for next year.
Good for them.
What are they testing, Jay?
Well, I don't know. Is this funny? Should we? Can you talk about it?
You know what? Bring it on. I'll talk about it.
Is it just an elementary school thing, or is it?
No.
No, I think it's everything.
I'm also in the pilot school.
Oh, okay.
We got a lot of. So here's.
Let me know what's going on.
No, I don't know how to give you the Spark Notes without giving you false information like the government did when they posted it.
Well, may I just tell you what I think it is?
Go for it.
In my simple layman's mind.
Hopefully, I only have to correct maybe half it, like I've been doing all week. But go for it.
I'm just a mere mortal citizen here trying to understand. See.
Mm-hmm.
So in a nutshell, it's more PD days because there's been studies that show if teachers have more time to professionally develop, it has a net positive impact on student scores. Is that right?
Yes. And it's not just a small positive impact. It's actually quite the differential. Other provinces have already been doing it.
Can I just say one thing? He said he dumbed that down. That was great. That has to be the most precise, most intellectual comment and statement that has ever flowed out of you.
Well, Cam, if I may be so bold as to pat myself on the back, my job for the last 6 years has been to try to dumb a very precise thing down to a few sentences so there can be no room for misinterpretation.
So
I understand.
This is not in any way, shape, or form going to be funny other than the comments that were in the government section on Facebook.
I don't know why they post anything. Every government post, it's all the laugh faces.
Whoever's in charge, they don't necessarily write it all up right. They put it in a picture. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
Which is super not algorithm friendly. It's like they did up a nice photo with the text on the photo, but now it's a photo.
I got
And then they had a little write-up with a link on it, but nobody clicks the link, right? So they posted, Cameron, very bluntly, that there will be 37 test schools in the province next year, and they're the younger schools feeding into the high school. So like if James M. Hill was going to do it in Miramichi, then Dr. Loge had to do it, then King Street had to do it. If any one of them said they weren't going to do it, then it's not happening.
Okay. Oh, wow. That's that.
Yeah, but the idea is busing and everything else. Like it's not a cost effective. So on Fridays, you want me to run the bus for 6 kids?
Yeah.
So like part of me gets that rationale. The bus driver still gets paid, but like part of me gets it anyway. They were just kind of like, no, this is cost wise. If we're all in or we're not. But they're doing it with test schools. So like MV's not doing it, but James M. Hill's doing it, and they're just across the river, right? And then they posted though 10 PD days. Here's in our contract, we're already contractually obligated to have 4. But they posted like we were getting 10, and everyone read it like we were getting 10 more. We're not getting 10 more. We're getting 6 more, so it equals 10. It's not 10 more. It's 6 days spread out over 9 months. Do you know what I mean? But it sounded like, 10 more days.
Is my reading comprehension bad? Because I thought it was 10 additional ones, but did I just read it too fast?
I thought it was every other Friday.
See? And it's not.
Gary, every other
10
Friday.
total throughout the year over 9 months. It's 10. It's 10 days.
There was something in there about parents liking consistencies in schedule. That's where I got the every other Friday thing from, that it was a consistent.
And part of me gets that.
Schedule.
But anyway, this is like the least funny talk ever, except I can get into some of the comments that I was resisting myself.
Well, there might be a lot of parents listening who this affects.
So it's not funny, but I can give you a couple quick ones that like I've been saying for years, but you guys also know, like I'm in any profession, you probably have people that cut corners and you have people that work very hard. True.
100%.
So like I am, you guys will back me up. This isn't me tooting a horn or anything. Like I'm one of those teachers that like I work there 60 hours a week. I'm there a lot, right? So like in doing that, when I volunteer for stuff, and it is volunteer, but then I'd be hearing about it the other way. So like I do Interact Club for Rotary, and I have Red sponsoring the orphanage in Uganda, and I do the Drama Club and do all the sets and stuff in 3 shows a year. I'm pretty busy. Is that all fair? Great. What ends up happening when I'm there 60 hours a week, sometimes more, is I'm behind in marking, or I can't take that online course they want me to take, or I can't. Some of the PD isn't necessarily PD. Some of the PD is, hey, all the humanities teachers in the school should probably sit and talk for an hour. When would you like us to do that? We all teach at different times.
Yeah.
And the answer can't be after school. I have drama, he has hockey, and he has basketball. So when would you like us to do that? And then if the answer is, well, you don't get paid to run a Rotary Club, cool story. I give that 2 years before I'm hearing it about the parents when all their kids are getting less scholarships and stuff because they can't be in Rotary Club. Like there's a payoff here that I don't think you're foreseeing. Like, yes, I can do this all within the school day. There will not be another school dance. You will have way less sports team. You will not see a drama club presentation ever again. And I promise you the spinoff will be less scholarships and stuff. You know what I mean? Like it's
draw a comparison, if I may. I guess I'm saying that a lot. I'm saying if I may a lot.
Wow.
Please don't stop. Do it the whole podcast title. If I may.
If I may. If I may be so bold. So I kind of liken that, what you're saying. It's kind of lining up with me with like, so when COVID happened, a lot of churches said, holy cow, what are we going to do? We got to get online. So a lot of churches bought a lot of equipment and invested in equipment. And they took a lot more of volunteers' time to get themselves online. And so now the standard is, and then all of a sudden, you know, like church goes back to normal. It's like, okay, we got to do church plus the online thing. So now we need like as many volunteers as we had, plus all the usual stuff, right? Yeah. So it comes back. So like what goes on, I'm assuming with schools is like, you know, we keep doing more and more programs. We're getting kids more and more involved with all this stuff. The only thing is the time in the day has remained the same, and the school day is the same amount of time. So in order to do everything, we can't just do it the way we did before and just make time magically appear. Is that kind of what's going on?
Yep. Time is like land. Buy it if you can, because they're not making it anymore.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Do you know
Because
what I mean?
I feel like there's more programs now than there's ever been. Is that true?
Yes. Combined with, like, I can give you a couple comparisons that people don't consider. So, like, I have had the odd person growl us about running red. So if anyone listening, like, we have a little project within the school, they run a cafe once a week, they sell clothing, they sell different stuff at Christmas, they do, and all the money goes towards an all-girls school that houses orphans and has a dormitory as well in Uganda. And I get the odd person saying, yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to give to that. Why aren't you helping people here? And what they don't realize is I am helping kids here, because almost all the kids running this are going to end up with a scholarship after, because they ran this. Like, you're not seeing the forest for the trees here. Like, I would feel so guilty if I dropped that on a couple folds. Number one, we got kids relying on us. Number two, the big scholarships that have come out of, you know what I mean? Like 100 kids put in for one scholarship, and this one kid says, you know, well, I ran red in my school and no other school has that. They're like, what's that? Well, we run a cafe and we do this and we do that and all. Like, we had a student this year get $100,000 scholarship. Like, she was the head of, yeah, like that's a full ride over 4 years.
That'll
that's
pay
everything.
for 1 year of university, won't it?
That's what I was thinking.
But it's her dorm, it's dorm, meal plan, tuition, everything for over 4 years.
Whew.
Like,
yes,
she's,
sir,
and she was running. But you know, but people don't consider, like, that stuff takes effort. And like, I'm not just saying it's volunteer stuff and that's not what I get paid to do. And why can't you just meet? The classic is, why can't you just meet during the summer? Yeah. Okay.
Scatter. It's like as soon as the door opens in the summer, it's like, you guys just don't hang around. Everybody just scatters.
No. And again, not funny, but the big misnomer is teachers get paid for the summer, and we don't. I get paid for 195 days, and then they go. And you can choose at the beginning of your contract of, would you like us to hold back pay so you get it during the summer, which means they're taking it off every check all year, or do you not want to, which in my experience is very unwise.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Because you don't qualify for EI or anything, so it's like
a whole summer.
You know
what's
what's funny about that is, like, that whole attitude, and then, like, the one summer I worked at Much Trucking, I learned that the employees can get paid two ways. You can get paid where, like, you get paid, you know, whatever you work, you get your paycheck 2 weeks, or you can, like, bank the money so that when the roads close during the spring for the thaw,
yep,
you can have it so that you can withdraw paychecks while you're not driving to, like, even out the time.
Or oddly enough, they just closed Airback down because the orders for wood has gone down and they're shut down for 3 weeks.
Oh yeah, there you go. So they do something like where they, you know, if you get a shutdown, you can still they basically just withhold your money and kind of like you can
and
draw
you still
it
get
over.
your pay. But someone who didn't, like I said, that's 3 weeks that they closed it, and then that's 3 weeks you don't get nothing.
Well, yeah, and then people look at a system like that and they're like, "Oh yeah, pretty smart."
So I'll make like 4 or 5 like rapid fire points here, and then because like some are half funny and some are not funny, because I find almost every announcement the government makes a little bit funny.
Well, can you start each point with if I may?
If I may.
Yeah. So if I may,
I don't know where that came from. I just started doing it.
If I may. Other provinces have been doing this and been doing it for a while with great success. So I get a kick out of them calling it a pilot as if they've invented something.
Okay. Yeah, that sounds like the government.
If I may, for nothing. They force kids every year. Listen, they pick out random kids. This is something a lot of people don't know, unless your kid ever got a note home saying they had to do it. They will randomly, at random. Gosh, believe me, I wish schools wish they could pick. Okay, so it's very random. You give them the entire roster of the school in a certain grade, and they randomly pick, because they don't know the kids, certain kids to write what's called a PISA test, so you can see what your world ranking is at your school. Schools that have consistently tested in the top 10 are in Finland.
Well, yes,
where they go to school, on average, about 10 hours less a week than we do.
Mm.
We are way over on their hours.
That's how they eat all the pizza.
Yep. Number 3, if I may. I think you would all agree, and people don't clue this. They want their cake and eat it too. Society
Everybody
has
does.
changed a lot in the 100 years. Society's changed a lot in the last 10 years.
I was just
Right?
gonna
COVID
say.
happened. We learned all these things. There's different stuff to battle now, like AI and everything else. The top 20 jobs that will be offered to students in the next 10 years don't exist yet. It keeps evolving. Think about it. I was told that 15 years ago, Cameron. That
I get what you're saying.
there's jobs. So 15 years ago, when a student was graduating, what's Uber? What's DoorDash?
That's true. Yeah.
What is AI? What is social media
Skynet.
management? What is, you know what I mean? Like all these things don't exist. One thing that has remained the same in all of this is the school system with the bell schedule and the times and the 8:30 to 3:30 and the, do you know why? It only still exists that way, even though all of the data tells you that it shouldn't. All of it. We only listen to the data we like. It is not actually best for kids. Teenagers on average need more sleep. More teenagers now than ever actually have part-time jobs and work and help support their family.
Yep.
So we give those kids homework, but they all work 20 hours a week working, but they go to school for 35 hours a week. That's a 75-hour week, guys. That's a pretty long, that's anywhere between a 60 and 75-hour week, depending on how often they work. But the system has not changed. Catch the bus at 7:30, so you can be on it for 45 minutes while it makes 22 stops to drop you off. The school system's not changed solely based on, if you changed it to what actually would be best for kids, it would be really inconvenient to parents who then gripe on Facebook pretending they care about education when really they care about having to find a babysitter for 6 more days a year.
That is true.
The parents
If I
here
may.
complained a lot last year because our buses don't come at 7:30; they come closer to 9 o'clock.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah,
Wow.
Yeah.
a lot of parents were upset when that happened.
Yeah, and that's stuff like that's fair, Gary. But like it's for the most part, it's really, it's not about, and everyone's pretending it is. It's not necessarily about what's best for kids. It's like, so as an example, on a storm day, James M. Hill announces it, and like 5 people click like on it. Storm day, blah 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 blah. Make sure you get your homework in and stay in bed, folks. The elementary school posts it. Well, it's barely doing anything outside. How come that there shouldn't be? Yeah, because you need a babysitter and the high school doesn't. So no one's griping on the high school one. Don't pretend, oh, they had 3 already this year. What are the kids going to? No, you're so full of crap. You need a babysitter now, so you're upset. How come no one's complaining at the middle school or high school?
A lot of the times, too, though, it's people that live right in the city complaining because the roads are beautiful and clear. And then you drive 10 minutes outside the city and it's chaos.
So, yeah.
But my point being, Gary, the high school posts it and nobody complains.
Yeah.
Nobody says anything.
That was like when I used to go to work in Chatham. At the time, I was living in the Northwest. And I knew I came into work in a snowstorm, and they said, well, of course, my call center doesn't close. And a guy from Doketown drove in, and a guy from Blackville drove in, but a guy who lived in Heritage Acres, who was less than like
right
you could,
there.
it's right there. He called in, I can't come in. It's too bad. And we
About
were
a
like,
2-minute drive.
not even a 2-minute drive, and the guy didn't even have a car. He walked.
Well, that would suck.
That would suck.
It would, but and
My
I
response will
understand
be, pick you up in 10 minutes, bud.
Yeah.
We offered, and he writes back, no, it's too dangerous for anybody to be in the road. Meanwhile, the guy drove from Doketown goes, it's not that bad. I just drove from Doketown. Like, I'm fine. Like, I can drive from here. I can see your house from here. You can probably see him writing the email as he's saying it. Like,
I find it funny. Like, I remember as a kid, we never, winter tires were like a rich man's thing.
It's true. All season tires.
All year round. Winter tires, that's too expensive. And it was like, when there was a snowstorm, it was like, let's go to Moncton.
Yeah, right?
I didn't do that, but yeah.
Well,
when it snowed back then, you got like 10 feet of snow.
Yeah, we got more.
It didn't melt.
No,
maybe it was maybe it was not Moncton, but it's like, hey, it's snowing. Let's go for a drive.
Go for a tear, yeah. Mm-hmm. Well,
There was
for me,
it's so funny how different It is.
For me, I don't remember school being canceled all that often because Dad was the one that was doing the plowing. So they're like, "Oh, not going to be to school tomorrow." And I get up in the morning and look at Dad. Dad goes, "You're going to school. Don't worry." And I'm like, "Thanks,
He's
Dad."
like, challenge accepted.
So I think we talked about this before, but this is where people are complaining about the same old stuff they always complained about, but doing it without acknowledging the changes that have happened around them. So like, how long would you guys say it would take to drive from Rogersville to Bay St. Anne?
I don't know, like
all the way to Bay St. Anne? That's
an hour?
From Rogersville, about an hour?
Say 45.
Hour and 10? Hour 10. Depends upon the road. Depends who you're driving with. If it's Gary, you're going to get there in about, half hour.
I was going to guess an hour to an hour and 15 minutes. My point is, the kids from both of those villages go to the same school.
What?
Yep. And that didn't used to be the way. They've closed all these other schools and amalgamated them and made them, especially as the population went down, to be fair.
Yes.
So as the population went down, we're going to centralize everything, and you can have a snow day where it is horrible down in the bay.
Yeah,
and the people in Rogersville are like, "What are you talking about?"
Yeah. Well,
but they all go to the same school and they're over an hour apart.
Yeah. And you know the difference between an hour distance. Like when I lived in St. Andrews, it was like I would leave there and it would be doing no snow. It was because it was down south. As soon as I get to Fredericton, I'm like, where in the world did all this snow come from? It's like it's crazy.
Yeah,
used to drive
in
and out of it. Yeah, you used to always drive in, out. Joe used to drive me crazy. And I used to drive from here to St. Andrews. Holy mother, there was a pile of difference between just watching as you're coming home, the snow drifts just got higher. I'm like, what is going on up here? And that's just in the province. So that's what, hour and a half to Fredericton to St. Andrews, and then back then, before the new road, was about 2 hours in. So you're looking at 3 hours. So 3 hours distance. That's a lot of weather change.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I just know even in Chatham with the schools for the little kids, as an example, when I was a kid, you went to Nelson or in Bailey or St. Michael's or St. Andrews or Nappen in town.
Yeah.
In town. Yeah, 2 of those schools I just rhymed off don't exist anymore.
St. Andrews doesn't.
St. Andrews is gone. St. Michael's is gone. They amalgamated a couple to make it just King Street. Right? And they had made enough room for Nappen too, and the community in Nappen was like, "No, you're not taking our school," but they were completely prepared to take their school. It was supposed to be closed as well.
Well,
and told them, "Well, we're not going to fix it. So when it's done, it's done. I don't know what to tell you," kind of deal. You know what I mean? Like it's
back in the probably the 60s, maybe the 70s.
People must be laughing so hard at this.
Oh, I know. They actually tried. If I may, they tried to close NSCR.
Not funny at all. Yeah, that's right. That's right.
They pitched the
No, the community put their foot down. Like, no, they wanted to send you all to MV.
Yeah. That would have been a fun drive every day.
But that's the equivalent to what a lot of them are driving now already.
That's crazy.
And if you had to go from one end to the other, like it's, you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're on the bus for 2 hours.
They even amalgamated the districts. Like, I can't imagine making those calls now. Like, Miramichi City had its own district, right? I say city as if it's a big bustling. It's not.
It's a metropolis, baby.
Yeah, now the district goes all the way from Rexton to Dalhousie. That's all one district. And you have one maintenance guy that's the head of it all to cover the whole... Speaking of which, can I just...
Oh, I know where they
If you may.
If you may be so bold.
I should have started with this. Mr. Ronald Levine, Esquire.
Go
we
on.
really drug his name through the mud, didn't we?
I will take this moment to grovel.
We don't grovel on this podcast. What's wrong with you?
I do now.
For shame.
So me just assuming that most people we know don't listen to this podcast. I
Is that not true?
I thought it was.
Oh dear.
Well, yeah, but no, apparently it's not. Like I got myself in trouble. So, I had said on one of the podcasts we were going on about gravy, which we said we'd stay away from the gravy. So I'm sorry, but we were going on about the gravy. And when we were blaming Taylor, Ron, who is the head of like maintenance and I'm looking for the official, but like buildings and infrastructure and all that stuff for the whole district, right? Like there's other people under him, but he's the guy. Does that make sense?
Does.
And I had said like, well, the connection to district would be Ron. Ron could have mailed the letter. Do you think Ron's in on it? And I did the whole, right, blah, 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 blah. And I even joked about we had a meeting and he didn't, like I did the whole bit. So kind of like, because he didn't come to the meeting. And we knew he said, to be fair to him that day, we were joking about this. He said, I'd try to get up and he didn't, you know what I mean? Because he could get called away over anything at any given time. The man might as well be still on a pager. You know what I mean? And so he was in a couple of weeks ago, and we were cracking jokes or whatever. I came in, and he was looking at doing something in my room, and then he turns it back on me, kind of like, "And you."
You want me
He
to
said,
help you?
"I will have you know, I did not send any letter."
With all due respect.
Yeah. He said,
If I may.
If
I may, I did not send any letter. I am not in on it. I am indeed not Mr. Gravy, but I do know who it is. And I had to tell him that, like, all right, fair enough. I have to do a public apology on the next. And we did one, and I completely. I should have apologized on the last one, but this is my public apology to Mr. Ronald Levine, Esquire.
So
I am sorry.
Did you then press him on?
I come to you. Oh, he wouldn't tell me.
Did you ask him what his favorite gravy was?
Oh.
No, but he went like he knew everything. He was like, I did not put gravy packets in your mailbox. I did not submit a letter. No, yeah, he listens. Okay. He listens.
He knows everything, but knows nothing.
No, he listens and then also commented on the quality of this, by the way. He's like, you guys really put some work into... And I was like, yeah, we put all that work into Gravy Mysteries for sure. That's...
Yeah, the Gravy Mysteries. We're going to have a whole documentary on it. It's going to be on YouTube.
It is. It is on YouTube. That's what we're doing.
I meant just dedicated to just to that one.
I do.
Yeah, Cameron thought we were just getting together for weekly chats.
Yeah. Cameron's been able to touch on stuff before, but can you imagine?
Oh,
boys,
my goodness.
I just had an idea. We should put this on the YouTube.
I meant like a full documentary based on just that. Nothing else.
You wouldn't believe what popped up.
They have these new things nowadays called podcasts.
I was looking up Nissan Versus, and lo and behold, a video of the four of us chatting away come right up.
Make fun of my car.
Oh, my face hurts.
I'm not. Oh, dear. That's great. I do know what you mean, but it is still funny. Technically, every minute of it has been on YouTube.
Technically, yes, I get that. I get it. Well aware. Thank you for that.
Oh my goodness!
As I may I?
If I may, I would posit that it has been documented. Oh my goodness!
That's going to be the best shirt ever.
If I may.
If I may.
I will make that shirt, if I may be so bold.
If I may be so bold.
I'd also like to tie this back around that we're actually just pulling the wool over parents' eyes. PD days are actually podcast days. So
make the students do the editing.
Yeah, I knew it.
There was a woman on there. She, I'm finding this one kind of funny, but I'm talking... You know when you're resisting not commenting, like don't comment. Nothing good ever comes out of commenting. Don't say it. Like, what's the point? What's the point?
Yeah.
And then she started ranting on about her qualifications to have an opinion, that she's an EA and she's been an EA for 7 years and all this stuff. And then I kind of like my back went straight and like, you know, like it's almost like line 1 in your contract. It's not publicly criticize your employer, right? Like you were on a tear. about how this doesn't work and blah, 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 blah. And then one parent was agreeing with her. And this was the comment where I had to tell Amanda not to say anything. And then I shut it off because I went from like, you're like, you can't believe it to you're mad to like, oh, well, now it's just funny. It's half funny. Like, why am I even getting it? Wouldn't matter what you did. But one parent said, all I'm seeing is that this supports teachers. What about support for students? Who supports the students?
What does that mean? I don't understand what that means.
Would supporting the people that support the students not be de facto supporting the students, if I may be so bold? Like it's all these programs that are for students. Like that is the...
Yikes.
Anyway.
That's why
on a far less funny note,
internet.
If they don't try something, like I'm clinging on and I've been there for a while, but some of the newbies that have been there 2, 3, and 4 years, we have never had a burnout rate like this where we're losing teachers hand over fist. Like they're just not staying. Like if you get 5 new teachers that are all like pretty new and under 3 years, it's like the odds are like 2 are leaving and 3 are staying. Like it's not good. Like
so is it just like a not what I signed up for kind of thing?
Well, it's become a lot. Like they've added and added and added to your plate, but they've taken nothing away. Yeah. So I don't know if they're even looking at like, listen, if you think 6 more PD days will alleviate something so that you can kind of get caught up, actually get to meet with people, the new person can actually add the person, like the veteran for help. You know what I mean? Like, and like, because you're not allowed that time. And I don't mean you're not allowed. Like it's not allotted. There isn't anything. Like back in the day when I started, they even had kind of a mentor program, but you had common prep rooms where even at lunch you at least got to talk, and that doesn't exist anymore because they filled up all the rooms. You know what I mean?
Not like the old days when they went and hid in the staff room and smoked cigarettes there 3 or 4 hours a day.
No, but it wasn't even... we were joking about that today, but it wasn't even a staff room. It was like the humanities teachers had a workroom. And the math teachers had a workroom, and the English teachers had a workroom. We don't have a workroom. We don't have one. Doesn't it? No, there's students in there. Do you know what I mean? Like we are filled. Like it's
How are you supposed to smoke?
Yeah. Well,
listen, you joke.
Back in my day, they actually still had ashtrays on the desk.
Yes. We were joking today. God rest his soul, but my old history teacher used to sit in the back room and smoke, and he was also our high jump coach. Cameron met him once. Cameron Harold. Cameron met him once at a track thing when I qualified that time for nationals or whatever.
I did.
And I remember one time he would never help you set up the bar or anything. So like some people don't know, but I used to do high jump pretty religiously there for 3 years. And he was my high jump coach. And there he is standing. I'll never forget the visual. Like it was a scene from like a bad John Hughes movie. You know what I mean? I wiped out on a high bar and I hit the bar, and sometimes the bar would bounce and you'd land on the bar and it would hurt. There's no good way to, and I'm sitting there with the wind knocked out of me. And I kind of just looked up, and there's Harold, my history teacher, middle of the gym, looking down at me, full on. Literally takes the big whiff, exhales, the smoke billowing out of his mouth. He goes, well, that was stupid, wasn't it? Like kids don't know. That is what we had.
Oh, we did. It's so true.
Now that would be frowned upon.
Oh man.
Which part? All of the above?
All of it. Well, that was stupid, wasn't it? Set it back up.
Not public school, but when I went to MVCC here in Moncton from 2013 to 2015, there was we had a teacher there who'd been there for a long time. He was in his 60s, about ready to retire.
Didn't care.
His name was Bruce. He looked like Albert Einstein.
I love it.
And but he was like, he drove a gold wing bike with the huge and
nice. I remember those.
Rode that. Yeah. Anyways, the lab we had like a soldering whole setup for soldering and stuff, and in the room.
Oh, easy with the dirty talk. Cameron's getting all bothered.
Not like good soldering iron.
So
boys.
many multimeters. Anyway, the room where you would like do the PCBs, it had an exhaust fan to get the fumes out. So we'd go in for a lab, And he'd be like, all right, boys, you just today we're doing capacitors, and that's just look at the book there. Let's get the capacitor. You wire it up with the resistor there, and you get your power supply, and you flick that on, and just do the questions, and let me know if you get any questions. As he was like walking to the back of the class, and he'd go into that room where we do the PCBs, and as you go in there, you hear the exhaust fan flip on, and he'd go in there and smoke. Because you'd knock on the door and be like, Bruce, we got a question out here. And he'd be like, just a second there, boys. Just try again there. I'll be right out there. And
I'll tell you one thing, what I'm going to do with that clip. I'm going to put real smooth, sultry jazz behind you ranting like that, talking about PCBs and soldering and all this stuff. And I'm just going to zoom in on the look on Cameron's face. When he was
right.
Oh, man, he was not laughing. He was all about that.
It's getting steamy in here. I'm going to turn on my dehumidifier.
Cameron's glasses are all fogged up. He needs to go up the road, gets Gary's family dehumidifier, cool things down.
You say you need that Sendville fixed.
Oh, baby.
Oh, that's
when
terrible.
I look you up and down and see that you have a loose resistor, I just know I'm going to have to get up a good bead of solder.
Don't forget the flux, baby.
Do you smell zinc?
Oh, wow.
There's a lot of things you could say about that would all sound pretty bad. So I'm just gonna leave it alone, I think. But
I appreciate that.
Don't touch the tip. It's hot. Stuff like that.
Yeah, something like that.
And I'm fired.
Oh my
That's it.
This podcast
Did all that talking about education and got fired over a soldering iron joke. That'll be
dude. This is this thing right here is the type of thing you do for years. You don't think about it, and you say one thing, and then that's it. You're done.
You're done. Who would ever think it'd be a podcast?
Oh
and
my goodness.
soldering irons.
And it's on YouTube.
Man, it's on YouTube, man. What a world we live in, boys. I tell you what.
Yep.
We should do an episode sometime that's just jokes that will get us canceled. The entire show.
Oh my goodness.
Gary's already got a list.
I'd like to have Bruce on as a guest sometime. That guy was unbelievable. You'd be in doing a lab, and he'd come in, not even his class or anything. He'd just see us all gathered around. He'd push the doors open. He'd come over. He came over one day and he's like, boys, you ever hear the song Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life? And he goes on laughing out the door, cackling down the hall. And we would laugh for like forever, an hour. Be like, what is he talking about? I'll never forget that. Drop Kick Me Jesus Through the Goalposts of Life.
What? Did you look it up?
I never did. I should.
That's probably a real song.
Probably.
Oh,
if I may.
If I may.
If I may be so bold.
That's just, teachers are, Oh, wow.
So, Gary, I had a weird one the other night. So, Amanda starts like yelling at me bloody murder, saying that she didn't think I listened to a word she said. Do you not think that's an awkward way to start a conversation?
Go on, Gary.
I get it.
I'm kidding.
Oh, it's so bad. I think I laughed harder tonight than I have in a while. My face hurts. Jay's gone. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have some technical difficulty. Gary is here, I am here, Tyson's here, and Jeremy has...
If this is another
If I may, Jeremy has left the building.
If I may be so bold, I'm scared this is another hack.
It's a little disconcerting.
It's happened before.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, it has.
We didn't know what happened last episode till we saw it on the YouTube.
On the YouTube, it's just like on the Facebook. I'm starting to get to that age. Just got to leave me alone, okay? I'm getting old. I'm going to start talking like the old people soon.
Soon? Been talking like the old people since you were 12 years old.
Gary, that's hurtful. True, but hurtful. I had one feeling left. You just killed it, and now I'm dead inside. It's your fault. Congratulations.
I had one feeling left, and it was in my left arm.
And it. Oh, wait.
It'd be funnier if everyone knew Cameron didn't have much feeling in one arm, but
that's correct. It's my right arm.
Now you know. So now that you know, go back and listen to that again.
Yeah, just rewind on YouTube.
Oh, man.
Yeah, that's not good. Maybe he lost power, did he?
I don't know. Maybe the septic's unloading into his basement and he's a... You know what I mean? The camper hose is everywhere.
You gotta connect those hoses properly.
Oh, man. We were scared you got hacked.
He may have.
I did. I'm just glad this is still recording.
It
for
is.
Us? Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, we had quite a conversation about you, sir, with all due respect.
Well, I tell you what.
I was nervous. It was the Gravy Bandit again.
That animation you made for the last podcast, whoa, man, was that ever a hit with my young fella? Oh, like the
the thumbnail?
Yeah, the thumbnail. He was down here earlier saying goodnight, and I had this stuff up trying to get it ready, and he saw that. He's like, "Hey, that looks like you." And he's like, "What's he doing?" I'm like, "Tyson made that when I dumped the poop out all over the ground." What a laugh he had! Oh, he did that.
No pressure. Now I got to follow that up.
Just
if I may be so bold, I might run it back.
If I may.
If I may.
You may.
I tell you what, just keep poop a theme, and you'll have a fan for life. Everything's poop.
Many fans.
Farts, everything. That's the best.
Love it. Love it.
Wasn't that our teen?
Well, yeah. I mean, it's almost like he's an almost 7-year-old boy.
It's the same in my house.
Yeah. Fair enough.
The "if I may" thing reminds me that my 7-year-old has taken to saying "as you know," and then he'll spew out some fact you would absolutely not know. It's like, "Dad, as you know, I saw Connor at the park today."
I did not know.
Well, now you got one to go back to him, Gary.
As you know.
As you know. As you know.
Well, that'll be the next podcast.
Like
this week's "If I May."
If I may.
As you know.
I will make a "If I May Be So Bold" t-shirt.
It's got to be
I don't
bright
even know
yellow.
where that came
If
from.
I may be so bold.
Well, you were talking like that last night in Warzone a little bit.
Was I?
I figured that. Yes, you were throwing big words out, and I threw one. I threw a big word out, and you were like, "I don't know what that means."
Yeah, what was it? Curmudgeon or something?
Homologation.
Yeah, that's right. That's the way you get your milk, wasn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
Hey, listen,
I said
boys.
homologation. That's what he said.
I got. Can we go on the record here, Cam, with your new job?
No, not yet. Yeah, go ahead.
I knew it. Let's hear it, buddy. We are listen. We have. I hope the FIA is listening here, right?
I do too, plausibly. So, our buddy Dougie, we all grew up with Doug, and he's head of a open wheel group,
Atlantic Open Wheel Modified.
The Atlantic.
I think it's Atlantic Modified.
AMT. Yeah, AMT. So Atlantic Modified Tour.
Those are race cars.
Those are race cars. So
Thank you, Gary.
they're race cars. Thank you, Gary.
Wow.
If I may.
If I may be so bold.
If I may be so bold. So he asked if I don't even know how that actually came up, but anyway, he said, would you like to do something with me in the race car or do something for me in the tour? And I said, well,
Like,
I don't
like what?
Well, that's what I said. Like what? So he said they want a race director.
Crash test dummy?
Well, I could do that. Hey, I don't got too many more concussions left in me, bud. I might have one left, and that's probably...
No judgment from me. I have none left.
Dougie's biggest sponsor on the car is Only Cam. We're all very excited, proud of him. I got the first membership.
I'll give you your change back, Jeff.
Anyway, but yeah. Well,
Now I have to design an Only Cam t-shirt.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome.
So he approaches you with a very prestigious role in the tour.
He just said, what do you want to do? And I was like, I don't know, whatever makes your life easier. And in hindsight, when you say that, you're kind of like, I thought, pick lug tires. He goes, listen, I need someone to help us race direct. I was like, what? He goes, yeah, someone who's going to like tell us to line up. We're in the race. He said, if there's an accident, then you have to be the person to determine who is at fault. If both are at fault, what do you do? And I'm like, okay.
And not just help race direct, be the race director.
Be the race director for the tour. So every track will go, I will race director all of these tours. So it's cool.
Well, is there any way we can hear the recordings of your voice? And how often will you blame Juan Pablo Montoya even though he's not there?
Well, I thought Schumacher was more appropriate than Juan Pablo or Mazepin. Yeah, so that's something I'm going to try. I went last week to 660 outside of Fredericton, and they have a race director there. And I kind of shadowed him, and he was really, really good. And he's like, have you watched racing? I said, yeah. He goes, okay. I said, have you watched racing? Well, he said, yeah, didn't you say,
let me drop my resume?
Yeah. He's like, what do you watch? And you were like, well, son, pull up a chair, grab a snack.
Well, yeah. I pretty much rhymed everything off, and he went, okay. And then the race was over. Did you do any racing? I was like, no, I've never raced, but I've been hanging around Dougie for a long time. And he said, okay. So I said, how did you get into this? He goes, well, I started it after I got done racing. I said, how long did you race? He goes, I don't know, 15 years. I'm like, okay. So this guy's raced 15 years and I have none. And yeah, this is going to be fun. So anyway, I watched a whole bunch of races and listened. So they're talking to the flag guy. But you actually talk to the drivers. He'll say, everybody take it easy. It's a long race. Don't break everything up. Trying to be, supportive to everybody to say, calm down. There were a few beating and bashing moments, and he got on the radio and told them, play nice or you're going to go home, and I'm going to set you out. I'm going to set you out this week and next week. So they calmed down pretty quick. I was like, that's impressive. So yeah, I get to do that. Of course, Dougie didn't tell me that the race last week was only like 25 laps. I was like, okay, cool. Dougie's going to throw me into the deep end, and they're going to have their first 100-lap race this weekend, and I'm going to have to do 100 laps, having never done any of this stuff. So, yeah. So,
yeah. Start calling you MBS.
Well, I'll see how I do.
Them or however you say it.
So when the yellow flag is going away and you let the lap cars go by, how long do you wait to restart?
Well, normally they don't do that. They just let the guy go to the back. They don't have to actually come all the way around. There's not a lot of lap traffic in those cars. There's like 12 cars, 13 cars.
Yeah, they're pretty close.
Yeah, they're actually very close. Like they don't it's not like in a big race where guys are getting lapped multiple times. Like these guys don't hardly ever get lapped because they're always right tight to each other. So yeah, it's going to be interesting.
So there's only so many ways you could screw it up.
Yeah, exactly. Yes.
I can't wait to hear about the first time you put somebody to the back. Can't wait. And I hope it's Dougie.
Well,
puts Dougie back. Here's the voice of Total Wolf. Not like this, Michael. Not like this.
and then you're going to hear me go, Toto, it's racing.
Just focus on driving, Dougie. Just focus on driving.
Why is that his new thing too? Anyway, I don't want to get off of it. Just focus on the driving.
It's like, get to the line. Get to the back.
Yeah.
Some
So, yeah, I
people
get to
don't
try
know
that.
we're talking F1 again, but anyway.
Yeah.
You can do the whole Valtteri. It's James.
Valtteri, it's James.
Oh man, there's so many things.
You need to set up a cam on yourself and just record you doing it.
Oh no, I don't think
subscribe right now.
I'm
Only
just,
Cam.
I'm of course I'm nervous because I don't want to screw up, and these are like heat of the moment kind of things. Like you have to make quick judgment calls, and then you have to live with that call. And if you screwed up, well, you know, you
hear about it.
Would have to say, yeah, you'd have to hear about it. So that's my big thing, to have someone coming up and laying into me, but that's fine. I'm just going to be way up in the tower.
Does that happen though, or isn't that kind of like understood that like it's an unwritten rule? You know what I mean? Like you can't go chase a guy down because of that.
In the heat of the moment, there are guys.
I think if you storm down and went into his pit and said, "Listen, buddy," like okay, but if you
grab a wrench on the way by,
yeah, no, I don't have to worry about that for the most part because I'm going to be up on this way up.
Just going to be up in the tower and wait for everyone to leave. Right, fellas?
That was my theory and my hope. If something, but anyway. If I mess up, I'll own up to it. I'm okay with that. If anybody messes up and I think they should be sent to the back, they're just going to go to the back. You have to line people up in the yellows. Like, anyway, it's kind of interesting. Like, you call the yellow, you call the green. Like,
that's cool.
They don't line up right.
So, you're away, like, what is it, every other weekend or ish or what?
Well, whenever they race, I can't remember the schedule because I've just been focusing on this week and then next week.
Yeah.
Like, so in Fredericton at 660, it's going to be this weekend is the Ricky Bobby, they call it. It's a sportsman race. And then there's a big one in September. It's like speed weekend. They have like a huge one. Like there's like, they have NASCAR drivers show up. They normally get a NASCAR driver to show up.
And
like,
you're coming to Petty too, aren't you? At some point?
Yeah. Be a Petty, Miramichi, Shediac. Yeah. So it's going to be interesting. I'm not really 100% sure how it's going to go. I don't know what I don't know, right? So,
well, no one does when they start anything.
Sounds like your dream job to me.
That's what I'm saying. Mr. Race Director.
It does. It is something I've always wanted to thought I would like, but I never thought it could happen. So yeah, I'm kind of like, yeah, I can do that. I fake it till I make it. That's
what
my
I've been doing for 17 years, buddy.
Yeah.
So
we all know what's going to happen. You're going to be 3 races into this, and Dougie's going to be like, "Listen, man, I got to talk to you. You got to tone it down a little bit. Okay, you got to totally bring her down." Cam's going to be like,
I don't know who told you. I don't know who told you it'd be a good idea to record your podcast while directing a race.
Live from the race director.
Talk about these. Gotta talk about these only Cam live streams.
It's like
you can't be bringing your soldering iron to the track.
Oh, but here's the thing: it's so high up and it's not enclosed. It's all open, Gary. It's just free air, baby. Like, don't even need a stupid fan.
Baby.
and boom with the dynamite.
Cameron's like, no welders are now illegal. Only soldering irons.
Fix that car with a soldering iron. What's wrong with you? A little heat shrink will work perfect on that.
Each team will only be allowed 20 multimeters.
Free multimeter calibration upstairs.
Something I've never seen at a racetrack in all the years I've ever been around was a multimeter. It's a shame.
Not anymore.
We will not stand for it.
Oh man, that's awesome. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's gonna be.
Oh
cool.
man, you come to Petty, I'll come out.
Attaboy.
Can I get a VIP seat in the tower?
See me with my dual, my dual headset. It'll just look like this.
Yeah. You're used to all that now.
But the weird part is
mode.
When they in their headsets, there's a button up here, like in the earpiece up here, like, and you have to click it to talk.
Push to talk.
Push to talk. It's so weird because they're just.
I mean, otherwise it would just be you up there, mumbling about whatever to the whole premises, I guess.
And the guy's going around the first turn and the second turn. What's that guy doing?
I thought you'd just be up there with your headset and Xbox controller, so I guess I'm...
The guys are all driving. He's like, is someone using the bathroom? It's going out over the whole PA.
Whistling. That would happen.
Just great big bunch of sounds. Oh man, must have been all that gravy. Some sound guys yanking out all the cords, trying to get it to shut off.
Still going. That must be an extra large Tim Hortons cup.
You see the guy running across the infield with like an axe heading for the power. Got the main power.
Then Cameron comes walking out. No problem, guys. Got my soldering iron right here. I'll have us back up in 5 minutes.
Make it 3.
Oh my goodness. I can't wait.
Yeah.
Oh, baby.
Man.
I don't think anybody records those, Jay. I don't think that I'm aware of.
Yes.
Yet.
Oh no. I don't think we.
You
want
happen to
record
know some people who could make that happen.
Yeah. Yeah. Who? Jeremy? Tell me who.
Well, yeah. That'd be fun.
Baby.
Man, let me. Holy cow!
Oh no.
That would be a blast. If you told me you were
That'd be fun.
live stream that, man, I would go get like boundary mics and strap them all up all over. So you know what I mean? Have them all around the whole track. Oh man, you could have a lot of fun with that. You could have a lot of fun with that.
I
Can you imagine the job we could do recording that?
You could do a really good job of that. You'd have to rent some.
Really?
Oh yeah, man. You'd have to. There's some mics we'd have to rent that we could put up like on the barrier, like up on the. You know what I mean?
On the wall.
On the wall. Yeah. And you could mic everything going around. Oh man, yeah. You could do a real nice job of that.
Now there is some guys who have the contract to record and live stream these. Cam? The races. There is.
Oh.
And if only a certain teacher on this podcast happened to have taught those guys.
Go away!
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. So we got an in. We're in like the Flynn.
I'll send a text here in a bit.
Attaboy. Let's start. Let's do it.
I wonder if they still do it. They did it for like 2 or 3 seasons.
Oh, the ones in here?
Oh, yeah, but then they traveled. They started doing Fredericton and...
Yeah, we could.
Really?
Yeah, and then they were doing all the Ironman games. Yeah, it was the same guys.
Look at there, Jay.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff you could do there, actually. That would be really fun.
Oh, baby.
Oh, baby. See, now I just found your dream job.
Yeah.
See, that's what a race director does. He directs
Hey, man, he's already... Cameron volunteered for one weekend, full productions contract, TV rights on Sportsnet.
The truck pulls in.
Netflix crew coming in.
Yeah,
I was just going for his own channel on Pluto, but if you guys are jumping right for the
CBC Gem.
Oh, God.
Yeah, great big only cam banners all over the place. Can't wait.
On that note, if I should be so bold.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, probably. I guess it's up to the race director.
Yeah, that's true. Are we done here?
I'll allow it.
That's good. Taking no responsibility.
Yeah.
I'll let you know when I have to take responsibility, Gary.
Yep.
Oh man.
I'll make sure the cell phone is on recording.
Oh man, I actually want to witness it so bad.
Yeah, man.
Not gonna lie. Yeah, I do.
Yep. Don't threaten me with a good time.
Yeah, buddy.
All right, guys.
All right.
Yep. Good work, boys.
Well, thanks for listening.
Yep. See you in the next one.
Stay in school and remember extra training is bad.
What? All right, we're out.
He's gone again.
He's gone again?
It's still recording.
Oh, this is wild.
If I may, that was pretty bold.
All right, well, this is awkward, but I think I hope Mr. Gravy didn't hack him again, but I think we all need to just hit leave at the same time.
I agree, sir.
Because it's going to screw up the
recording automatically.
We'll show you, Mr. Gravy. 1, 2, 3.
I'm leaving.
Middle of the gym, looking down at me, full on. Literally takes the big whiff, exhales the smoke billowing out of his mouth. He goes, "Well, that was stupid, wasn't it?" Like kids don't know. That is what we had.
You just wasted some of your life listening to the Bush League podcast. You must stop what you're doing right now. Like and subscribe and leave a 5-star rating. Make sure you follow us on Instagram, Twitter, and like us on Facebook.